Ask. This is not 9-3. I had to change the schedule. Apparently, the meeting I wasn't there for, they decided not to teach 9-3. And so it's not going to be on the test. So I altered the schedule. So 9-4 is the end of our chapter already. And I'm not going to fly through it because this one has a part to it that should be new to you. And so it's usually a part that, nobody really goes through super fast. So I'm kind of planning on taking today and then Monday to finish up anything on 9-4. I can even give you the review on Monday if you'd like that. And then Tuesday we could take fully for review, whether that's me helping, going over, whatever. And then we'll take the test on the wind day next week. Because I very much would prefer to take the test on the wind day when possible, just because then that way nobody has to worry about not finishing. Plus, people can come in for help that morning if they want it. So the wind day works really good for testing.
What are we doing on the flex day?
Working on 9-4. Oh, like actual details about flex day. Sorry. Math is not very conducive to the flex time 15-minute classes. So what I traditionally have done for flex day so far is just have you take attendance, and then I will have a link to the Zoom meeting that if you want to meet with me, you can. Attendance is not at all through Zoom, and the Zoom meeting is not required. So if anybody wants to meet with me over Zoom, I'll just have you message me through Schoology or email me. And then I can come on at any point to meet with you to help you with whatever. But otherwise, I'm just going to have it set up where you just take attendance by noon. I don't know. Any other questions about Flex Day? Because I always forget to talk about it ahead of time. Otherwise, it's near impossible for me to teach anything. It takes 5 minutes to get started, and then we'd have 10 minutes left. Hi. Remind me to change your attendance after the video. Okay, so 9.4, there's basically two parts to it, because I was originally intending to teach this over 2 regular class days. The first part of 9.4 is, in my opinion, shockingly easy. As in, most of you thought that 9.1 was very easy. 9.1 was just the different kinds of ways that functions can be shown. I'm going to assume this 9.4, the beginning part, is going to feel that easy too as well. So this is what we're doing. The only new part of this in any which way is probably the way that it's written. Otherwise, we are adding equations, subtracting equations, multiplying equations, and dividing equations. 100% we've done all of these this year. The only thing I think possibly may throw you off is the way it's written. And so I wanted an example of how it's written out here. We'll do a couple together, and that would have been our first normal class day. And it won't take long, and it's pretty straightforward.
next to you, figure six.
Might as well continue the trade. Now Matilda can see. Okay, I'm gonna guess most of you are about written down, if nothing, just close. So, my guess is this is how you probably would have seen it this year, like when we did operations. So, sometimes, depending on the textbook, depending on the test, whatever you're taking, this is the other notation that I've seen for it. I don't know if there's necessarily a benefit to either one of them. My guess is it's pretty much just up to the prerogative of whoever's writing something. The parentheses around the F plus G don't mean anything other than to tell you that they're together, like being added. Because if you wrote this notation without that first set of parentheses, then it would look like the parentheses X is just on the G. And so they only put a parentheses there just to show you. I don't know. I would say majority of the time, I'm going to write it the way on the right-hand side. Okay, let's do a problem. So you have to be given equations for this to work to start with. You're not going to be expected to just make some up or whatever it be. So you kind of have to be given some equations to start with. So this one I've highlighted a couple. One 8. Aaron, did you want to roll?
Sure.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Do you want this?
I have very little willpower not to.
It's yours.
Thank you.
I won't be back.
You won't be back.
I have a meeting.
Okay. Is it
You,
the same
Mr.
thing from the
Ayala.
other day?
Mr. Ayala emailed you, just so you know.
He didn't, but okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
writing a letter to admin.
Thank you.
So,
I figured what it was for, yeah.
yeah. Whoa.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for fattening me up more. It's probably not a good look to have Diet Pop and a donut at the same time. We'll pull it off. Okay, you're probably pretty close to written down, if nothing. Aaron, who is going to help us go first? I know I probably cut you short.
I see how this works.
Oh yeah, the pyramid one is the 1 through 4. So who is it?
Oh yeah, 1 9. I didn't even mean to. But yeah.
It doesn't say one.
Yeah, sure. Yep. It was definitely 1 9. Nico, do you need me to guide you at all, or can you just kind of tell me what to do, do you think, by reading this?
Do you just plug those two top equations into the bottom one? You add those two?
Yeah, you're just taking, so this is telling us to add equation F plus equation G. And so we are just taking that plus that. You can put them in parentheses if you want to. The only use for the parentheses would just be to acknowledge that, they're one thing. You don't have to when you're doing adding because it's not being used. Now, if you're subtracting, say for the next one, parentheses are kind of important because you're subtracting all of it. So on this one, you just kind of add terms. So 2x squared. We've got 4x and 2x, so that'd be 6x. -6, and then -2 would be -8. I know a lot of you will just get the answer by looking at them and just adding them in your head, and I'm okay with that. Now, on a test, not always the greatest idea, but on a test, a question like this would most likely only be 1 point anyway, just because it's considered easy, so there really isn't partial credit. And so showing work for something this easy isn't necessary, but you absolutely can, like, if you feel like you're gonna get confused. Okay, Aaron,
2, 3.
3. George, do you think you could help me do the subtraction one, F minus G?
Yeah, it's just the same as the addition one, but you subtract them.
That is a very good description. If possible, can you just tell me what to write out? Even though what you said was correct.
In parentheses, 2x squared plus 4x minus 6, and then minus 2x minus 2.
Perfect. Really, the only thing I wanted to check for is to make sure you put them in the correct order. Because it does make a difference what order you write the things down in. If you did them the other way around, it'd be backwards answer. And then now that we did subtraction, you just have to remember to distribute out that minus sign. Yeah, I figured it'd go pretty quick.
Yes, sir.
What do we have? So 2x squared is the only squared. 4x minus 2x will become 2x. Minus 6 plus 2 is now minus 4. So I guess I'll take your opinion, but I was kind of expecting these to be easy enough that you probably didn't need to do an example on your own. Is that probably fair? Okay. Then I'll go right on to multiply and divide, which, to be honest, I think will be similar. Okay, multiplication and division. Aaron, whenever you get done writing, we'll go. That way it'll be a good indicator for me for when everybody's ready to. And I'll sample the donut while I'm waiting. Faley, you're 3-2. Do you think you can tell me what to write?
Yeah. Would it just be 2x minus 2, or 2x squared, yeah, it doesn't matter.
It does matter, but yep.
And then times 2x squared plus 4x minus 6.
I think what you were trying to say doesn't matter is for multiplication, doesn't matter the order you write them down, which is correct. But I'll definitely write it down how it looks. This particular problem says to take G times F, and so you'd write G first.
1, 3.
I definitely think Faley meant it correct, but if this is something that you would write down on a test, I'd mark it wrong. How come? Yeah. So technically what this says, or shows is that the only thing being multiplied is this 2 and this 2x squared. So I know Faley meant this, and if she was writing on her own, she might even probably write that. But it definitely means something different. So this is kind of the point of the year where we should be better at writing things correctly, just to get used to it. Sure, next person. Unless Ella wanted to keep going. No, okay. Isn't the pyramid one hard to pick up? Like, I have a hard time picking that one up.
1-4.
This is like half your rolls. Jake, is that? Yeah, you are in 4. Okay. Do you remember how to multiply things out like this?
Take 2x, multiply it by everything,
Perfect.
and then take -2, multiply it by everything.
Perfect. So this is just kind of like distribution. Take everything times everything. And we're going to get a whole bunch of answers. 2x times 2x squared is 4x cubed. 2x times 4x is going to be 8x squared. 2x times -6 would be minus 12x. And when I write my second set below, I'll do the blue ones here below. I'll even kind of line them up. Like, I haven't really shown that usually, but that's one method you can do. So -2 times 2x squared would be -4x squared. And if I kind of just write them with like terms right away, that might help some of you. -2 times 4x is -8x. -2 times -6 plus 12. So 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 20x plus 12. Good. Very good.
4, 7.
Yeah, Abhinav, you're 7. Do you think you can decipher what that says?
Yeah.
What's that saying? What's it telling us to do?
I'm gonna make it a fraction.
Okay, so it does mean division, but that's the exact same thing as what a fraction actually means. So what would I write?
You write a 2x minus 2 on top. It's divided by 2x squared plus 4x minus 2.
Okay, how come?
Because f is on top.
It is. But you told me G. So I bet you, because the first problem, I had G written first. I'm wondering if you took that as, mentally took that as F. Everything you said was correct when you said F should be on top. So ours should be the other way around. I guess I just have to. So F is the first one I've written, the 2x squared one. And then G is the one on the bottom that's 2x minus 2. So you definitely meant it correct. I don't know if we should roll somebody for this next part, or sure. And if they can't do it, that's okay. We'll kind of figure it out.
3, 9.
I didn't ask anything. Oh, okay. I was going to ask, what should we do with this if we can? It was 3 weeks ago. So this is actually a new topic for us because this was the chapter 8 test.
Is it 2x squared plus 2x minus 2?
Oh, no. You're basically trying to add and subtract them. So if we have a rational expression, the only thing we can do is to see if it simplifies down. So we can factor things to see if something would cancel, but that's basically all we can do. I think what I'm going to do is I notice everything here is even, so I'm going to factor out a 2 on the bottom. On the top, this is also all even. So if I can factor out a 2, that makes the factoring a lot easier because I won't need to do the 3-term hard method. which it would work if you did. But, oh, and I definitely can even just cancel out these 2's. X squared plus 2x minus 3, I can factor that one. That would become what? Plus 3 minus 1? Yeah, plus 3 minus 1, because that would add to 2. And multiply to negative 3. And then the minus 1's can cancel. So out of these 4 topics, division is going to be the only one that you get annoyed with, solely because you have to factor to see if something cancels. Now, if nothing cancels, then your answer is just whatever's left, right? Like, it's the same that we did in beginning of chapter 8. When you were given a rational expression, you checked to see if something cancels. If nothing did, then your answer is just whatever is there to begin with.
Should you make it x equals -3, or you just leave it as like equation?
So we're not trying to solve, right? So I think that's what you're asking me about. We're not trying to solve for any type of thing. This is just going to be what would we get if we put them together. And it might stand for something, but we're not actually finding solutions. Okay, well, this is the whole first part of 9.4. I guess I'm kind of leaving it up to you guys. Do you want me to start the other port? I can't talk today. Do you want me to start the other portion? Would you like a little time to work on this portion first? And then maybe like, let's see, what time do we get done? 11:30? Yeah, we still have an hour left. How about 11 o'clock? At 11 o'clock, no? Like, that was a pretty drastic reaction there. Like, I'm assuming most of you would be done in 20-ish minutes with the homework part of this. Oh, gotcha, that's a good question. So, I basically have a single worksheet that has, I think, like 8 problems involving add, subtract, multiply, divide, and then it has 8 problems with the part we haven't learned yet. So it's not necessarily long, if that's what you're asking. It's just like a regular homework. I didn't, even though today's like an hour and a half class, I wasn't intending on giving more homework just because more can get done. So now that it got really dark out. Okay, well then what I'll do is I'll kind of stop the video here, and then I'll basically pretend like we're doing another day and teaching another day at about 11 o'clock, and that'll be the second half of the section.